So hey guys, oh sorry. So hey guys, welcome back to another video, and welcome to yet again another live stream. And today, as always, I'm joined with Ryan.
Yep, good to be back.
Right, lovely, you can be heard. So Ryan,
Yep.
I'm a bit late to this quali session. Just give us a quick run through of what happened.
Towards the beginning of the session, we had a Red Bull 1-2 until you guys came in and qualified second place to split the Red Bulls up, but he did get disqualified for blocking the pit lane. I believe he's put something in the group chat to explain what happened, but I haven't had a look yet. But obviously, Jarno, quite early on in the session, not long after Red Bull got their 1-2, Jarno went fastest to take what would be pole position, but it looks like it could change up quite a bit as everyone's going out for their final laps. Jarno's getting blocked a little bit by Damien here.
Yeah, Moraine.
Very weird.
Just to point out, as you were going through that, Moraine just went up into P3, so good luck there from Moraine on the harder tyres. And Ryan, as you were saying earlier, there's a little bit of rain expected for the start of the race.
Yeah, I've been told, well, one of the drivers put it in the group chat that there's meant to be some light rain at the beginning, and then it's going to dry off about, I need to check, I don't know if it was like 5 or 10 minutes it was going to clear up after.
But one thing to note, Moraine, P3, that's the best he can do. He's retired from the session, so I think Jarno's probably looking good for his first pole for a while. Not sure if it's in Gprl. Karen looking very strong up in P2, albeit about 7/10ths back. Yannick P4, bit of a return to form almost. It'll be interesting to see if he can get past Moraine. Damien, last week's race winner. Damien, incredible that was. I think some of us are still not quite over it. It'll be interesting to see if he can replicate that. AML returning to Gprl. He's had a relatively strong session as he cuts through the middle chicane to try and get a lap in. Then there's Felix, who's just started his lap, and Hugo, who's in the pit, so I don't think Hugo will be setting a lap for today. Hugo, yet again, stepping in as a reserve, and I think he's my best performing reserve of the season. We'll get into that for the end of season podcast awards. But here's Jarno on his lap in the Sauber. It would be great to see a Sauber back on pole position. It's been a while in Gprl, I believe. Season 2 was the last time we saw that. But do you think it's possible, Ryan, for him to hold this P1?
Yeah, I think it is. He's got quite a strong lap in there. You can see 7/10ths ahead of Karam and, well, over a second ahead of the soft tires, which is probably about what you'd expect considering it's a 2 compound difference. But I think with the lap right now, he doesn't look like he's backing off, so it looks like it's pretty good so far.
Yeah, I've been watching it. It's not a bad lap from the pole sitter.
I just got the information from Moraine. It just says the first, because there's obviously 3 brackets for the weather, it just says light rain and +0 minutes, and then it says +20, it's going to be cloud. So I don't know how many laps it's going to rain for. Maybe the first 5-10 laps.
Sorry to cut you off here, Ryan, but Felix goes P3. That's the best he can do for today. Yannick goes P1, 200ths quicker than his teammate. Can Jarno in the other Sauber improve on his lap time? Can he improve on P2? Yes, he can. Very close there between the Sauber boys. We now look back to Karim, who's coming through the final corner. Can it be a first pole in Gprl for Karim? No, he can't quite make it. But that was quite a climactic game. Sauber getting their first 1-2. I believe since the Malaysian Grand Prix in Season 2. I believe. Do correct me if I'm wrong. But wow, what a return to form for the 2 drivers, Ryan.
Yeah, it's. I think they've definitely been brushing up a little bit since last week, and I think they've definitely delivered today. So it'll be interesting to see, obviously, how well they maintain that. And obviously, Felix and Moraine, the 2 arguably most threatening drivers in the championship so far, they've got Karim in front of them. So Karim could be like a green shell for the 2 Saubers.
Yeah.
Because Karim might hold them up a little bit, because we know Karim's quite good at defense moves, so it should be good to see if the Red Bulls will struggle to get past Karim. And obviously the longer they struggle, the better it will be for the Saubers.
Can confirm it is raining for race day. Yep. And just before we get into the show, I'll go on to that in the formation lap actually. So yeah, Sauber 1-2, first time in a long time we've seen it. Will they get hit with their classic luck, or will Yannick and Jarno be able to pull something out the pot? And I hope so. Karim up in P3, I believe that's maybe his best, equaling his best qualifying in Gprl. his best, if not equaling it. So yeah, big up Karen there, incredible job from yourself. The Red Bulls seemed to struggle a bit, really, didn't they?
Yeah, they were struggling towards the beginning of the session because they were in like 6th or 7th place, so they were quite far down the order, and you wouldn't really expect that, but you do look at the tires they were using. They were using the middle compound, and a 2 compound difference, it would be pretty difficult to keep a good momentum. But
Yeah, so
it's
drivers
it's
on
all
the
to play
intermediate
for, I
tyres.
guess.
I think I can't quite see. Yes, intermediate tyres for all drivers. So right, so I think we've got something got an interesting race on our hands today. Sauber 1-2, Karen P3, Felix P4, and Moraine P5 now. So talking about the championship, Moraine and Red Bull can both win the championship today. If Red Bull score 13 points, they will win the championship. So to give you a running through the scoring system, it's 20 for a win, 18th for second, 15. I think. Let me check this. I should know this. So it's 20.
It is 15 because I had to check during qualifying because
Yeah.
I took a note of the positions and the scores because I forgot.
Yeah, so it is P1 20, P2 18, P3 15, and then it goes down 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, and 1 point for P10. So, yeah, if Red Bull score 13 points today, they win the Constructors very early on. Not usual in Gprl. We haven't seen Constructors dominated like this for, well, in our history. And then in terms of the Drivers' Championship, Moraine can win the title today if he outscores his teammate Felix by 12 points. It's doable, and it'll be very hard for anyone to make a comeback in this phase, because it looks like we are in the era of Moraine, and he looks to make GPRL history by becoming the first 2-time and the first back-to-back champion in GPRL.
Sorry, just to cut you off real
Yep.
quick. I've just had a look at the formation lap, and I've noticed that Felix and Damien have the same car number. They both
Do they?
have number 88 on their cars. Yeah, I just noticed because I looked at Felix's car and I'm like, oh, okay, it was like a shot from the front of the car, and then I saw Damien's side of the car and it said 88, and I'm like, hold on a second.
Yeah.
That can't
Anyway.
be right, they have to have different numbers.
Anyway, Sauber 1-2 for the first time in a while. Can they convert that into a double podium, or will the Red Bulls and Karam, or maybe even Damien, have something to say about it? Do you know what? I think it's about time to find out. To 5 red lights for the Hungarian Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go. Looked like Yannick got, I think the two Saubers having a relatively similar start. Yannick blocking off Yannick down the inside, not going to give any space for his teammate. It looks like Felix is in the mix as Karim goes around the outside, a little bit of contact. It looks like everyone's keeping it relatively clean, as it looks like Felix side by side now. I'm not sure, let me just have a quick look. Yeah, Felix up into P3. Karim will have the inside line. Down the inside goes Karim. Drivers being very cautious in these intermediate conditions. Felix in the Red Bull's going to have to hold it around the outside. I'm not quite sure if he's going to be able to. Yes, he will. He just about keeps a nose down the inside. And now they're going to be side by side in these wet conditions. Going off in the back is Hugo. He's out the race. And round the outside goes Felix. I'm not sure if he was pushed wide there. Karim gives back the position. Felix up into P3. Moraine still P5, hassling the McLaren of Karim. And it's Damien, then Amar. Hugo, we saw a moment ago with a crash coming out the faster right-hander. Moraine looks to be struggling with a bit of understeer. And maybe Damien might be on the back of him as he looks down the inside. Does not make it work. But looking back to the front, a successful start for the two Saubers. And yeah, it's starting to pull a gap. Yeah, what do you make of that start, Ryan?
Oh, it was all over the place. I just saw Damien just went off track. Yeah, it was all over the place. The Red Bull seemed to get a very good start against Karim, because you could see that Felix was challenging into the first few corners. So yeah, it was a very good start from both of them. You can see that Moraine is having a little bit of trouble trying to get past the McLaren.
Karim's struggling here.
Karim just goes wide, so I think Moraine should make the move on the straight, you'd think.
Yeah, you'd think it could be quite interesting to see. Looks like Felix is hounding Yannick, can't make it work. Can Moraine make it work? Can't make a pop down the inside of turn 1, but Karim is struggling quite wide there. Moraine will get a better run, but just can't get the traction. Bit of oversteer there for the Red Bull driver, and it's P5 for the time being. But at the minute, it's good for the Drivers' Championship, it's also good for the Constructors' Championship, so I don't think Red Bull will be in too much of a rush. They don't want to be squandering their races in order to get a couple of extra points. But looking at Felix now, Felix is right up behind Yannick, and I've come up with a possible hypothesis for the Rebels' lack of pace in qualifying. Do you think they may have gone for a more wet-orientated setup to then benefit them in the opening stage of this race?
Well, from the looks of things, it does look quite possible that they have maybe hindered their strategy a little bit to fit with the beginning of the race. But at the end of the day, I would think that because the race is going to be, the majority of the race is going to be dry. It's just rain for the start of the session, so they could have just hindered their strategy a little bit, so that when it comes to putting on the dry tires, they can maybe stay out a little bit longer and try and stretch out the intermediate, so they can try and maybe jump a few cars.
Yeah, possibly in Hungary. Not the easiest place on the Gprl calendar to overtake, so maybe the Rebels have gone for the idea of track position, hoping to gain a lot in this opening stage. But currently its order as resumed as a 1-2. And one thing that you may notice, we have a couple of drivers, Jarno, Felix, all rocking the Gprl logo on the front of their names, so shout out to them, making it a little bit easier for myself and Ryan in commentary. Of the Gprl. Oh, Felix had a moment there. He very nearly went off. But yeah, any other drivers, do feel free to change your name. Damien struggling. The last week's race winner is round. I don't think there's any damage to the car. Maybe a little bit. I think
damage to the front wing.
I think that was more the billboard, actually, the Rolex billboard. But yeah, there is damage to the front wing. He will have to pit. But yeah, Moraine's seemingly struggling in comparison to his teammate. He's dropping back and not quite into the clutches of Amar. But yeah, he's definitely dropping back. And but again, Karim also struggling with a bit for the moment. Drivers finding it tricky, aren't hitting the opening stages as we end lap 3. Jarno holding that gap of around 1.3 seconds to his teammate Yannick, who is comfortably, well, I say comfortably, at the minute he's comfortably keeping Felix behind, as Felix has a little drift through the final corner. And it looks like some drivers might actually start to struggle on their rear tyres, specifically Felix, and Karim's been sliding around a lot, as well as Moraine. So it's still raining, it definitely still is raining, so you know, drivers will have to watch out for that. And Ryan, do you have an idea of when this rain may stop?
I couldn't tell you. It doesn't look like it's going to go away anytime soon, but according to data that I think it was Moraine put in the group chat, it does look like the rain is gonna come down, but it doesn't say specifically when, so it could be in the next few laps, it could be halfway through the race, because sometimes the data is a little bit off, as I've experienced in my career mode. Like, it'll say that it'll rain at the end of the race, but there won't be a single drop, so I don't know, it can really depend. It could even rain for the whole race if the data is that bad.
Yeah, and I'm running on board with Karim at the minute. Looks like Felix is really struggling with his rear tyres, specifically through the first sector, it looked like.
It looks like Felix having some connection problems, maybe.
Yeah, I had that too, so I think Felix may be lagging around a little bit. I hope that is just for us as Karim goes wide, maybe put off by the lagging Felix. But I don't think that's going to cause too much of an issue. Karim looking strong, actually, in this opening phase of the race. As Felix, is he I think he's pitting, actually. It's still raining, from what I can see. So it's DRS enabled. Actually, that may be a perfect call from Felix.
Yeah.
So into the pits comes Felix. What tyres is he going to put on? Mediums, I think.
I think the mediums, yeah.
To go to the end of the race. Slightly slow stop. No, it's just a bit of a desync, sorry about that. But yeah, I think Damien comes in also, so he might gain a bit from this stop. So, incredible strategy from Felix.
Yeah, it was. You could not have timed that any better if you tried. But yeah.
Oh, he's round! He's round!
Felix just round! So maybe the track, even though DRS is enabled, the track might not be good enough for the conditions at the moment, because the track will still be wet. The track hasn't dried at all, so yeah, Felix might not have benefited as much as he hoped, actually.
I'm just going to be watching the gap.
Felix is going really slow.
Just watching the gap. It's not closing massively, and saying that he's just gained half a second in about a corner. So yeah, it definitely is time for the dries. And although Felix did have that spin, I think he may still be in the running to get out in the lead, because if he keeps up this pace, he will stand a good chance. But yeah, sliding around
this will
a
be
lot.
a tricky section, because this section can be tricky if you're not on the racing line. So
Both Saubers in the pits. Sorry to cut you off there, Ryan. Yeah, everyone in the pits. Yannick, will get slightly held up.
Oh, Moraine's hit Karen.
He's lost his front wing. Moraine has got front wing damage. I'm not sure what happened there, but watching the Sauber pit crew now onto the softs goes Jarno, and out goes Jarno. Now in comes Yannick, the hold up onto the medium tyres. I think he did. So here comes Felix down the main straight. Jarno is out, Karim is out, Moraine is out. I think Moraine does have damage on the front right element. Yannick is out in P4 on the ultra soft tyres, and then Felix is P5. So he hasn't really gained much from that.
Yeah, I think it was all down to that spin at the beginning.
Yeah.
That's what I would personally think, because
I think without that spin he would have come out in the lead.
On my screen it says that Yannick's on intermediates, but
I don't think he's on intermediates, no.
Oh yeah, for some reason the front tyres are intermediates but the backs are super soft.
Saying that, Yannick just made an incredible move up the inside, and he's gone down the inside of Karim. I don't think that was too aggressive. It's very debatable, something we will have to look at the end of the race, but he's flying in comparison to the other drivers. Moraine with front wing damage. Maybe, I'm not sure if Karim is just struggling to get these tyres up to temperatures. Moraine looking around the outside. Yeah, that incident will be something disputed after the race. But yeah, Yannick seemingly flying on these new sets and looking to get a first podium in a while in Gprl's. Moraine goes off the track. Felix now comes back on, side by side. Will Felix hang it round the outside? He will. It's going to be close between these two. Felix gets the move done. Very good move there from Felix as he runs slightly off track. Moraine staying out, so opting not to fix the front wing damage. And I think all three of these will have DRS on the McLaren of Karim Felix at the fast lap of the Grand Prix. So currently one extra point being added to Felix's tally as Felix closes and gets very close to Karim. But meanwhile at the front, Yannick, on faster tyres, he's closing up to his teammate Jarno as Damien sets a fast lap of the Grand Prix. But yeah, Yannick's the one with the pace at the minute, as there's a little bit of contact there, I think, between Felix and between Karim. Nothing comes of it though. And yeah, Felix looking very strong in this opening phase. Both of these drivers on mediums. I think there nearly was contact there. I think Karim's just really struggling. The front wing's fine though of Felix. I think Karim is really struggling to get these medium tyres into that working zone, because yeah, clearly struggling with the switch between inters and dries. As Felix now gets a run, he might look round the outside of Karim. He will, and now he's going to have the inside line. It's down the inside goes Felix. He just about leaves Karim enough room, and Moraine maybe going to make it 3 wide. That would not have worked. It's down the inside goes Felix up into P3. Good move there from the Red Bull driver back up into P3. And there's a little bit more contact between Moraine and Karim. Moraine struggling to slow it down. Jarno with the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Yannick goes a little bit, well, quite a bit faster actually. And yeah, so we can take a breather now. As Moraine has DRS, I don't think he'll be closing up too much on Karim. Not close enough to make a lunge. So yeah, just talk us through this battle of strategy then, Ryan, because we have some drivers on 2 stops and some drivers on a 1 stop.
Well, I guess a few drivers, maybe like Moraine, who might not be in the happiest with his qualifying, would want to go on an aggressive strategy to try and make up positions that he otherwise lost in qualifying. And obviously Yannick, who I think the Saubers might do a switch of position here, because Yannick's going so quick that he can't get held up by his teammate. It would be ridiculous to be held up with that sort of pace, so they might do a switch of positions depending on how close Yannick gets.
Yeah, we obviously know Jarno and Yannick, the 2 most loyal pairing in Gprl. Seems as if they've been together for all of time, but yeah, it hasn't worked for them. It hasn't come together. Yeah, it's the successes of season 2. joint constructors champions. Tried again for season 3 in McLaren, didn't work as Yannick set another fastest lap of the Grand Prix. For season 4 they came back to Alfa Romeo Sauber, and it hasn't gone their way. It hasn't, but it looks like finally in race 12 I think Lady Luck may be on their side. Saying that, we're barely a third of the way through the Grand Prix, so I wouldn't put your bets on just yet. But yeah, Yannick does clearly look quicker, and it's been the first time in a while, with all due respect to Yannick, it's been the first time in a while we've seen him with some race-winning pace, you'd say.
Yeah, it has been, and it's quite sad to say it, but when you think about it, it is quite true.
Yannick's off. As we say it, I'm not sure.
He's off with the right-hander, I think. Yeah,
yes, he is. He comes back on.
That right-hander's a nightmare. Yep. Oh, he's still struggling. Yep.
Spins background, so that implies that the rear tyres are going off. So that promotes Felix to P2, Karim to P3, Moraine to P4, Damien to P5. So Yannick comes out just behind, and I think Yannick is really struggling with his rear tyres. So. Yeah, he won't be very happy with himself, but it will be interesting to see. He's had incredible pace all weekend, and I think he will be able to climb back up. How far he can climb back up, though, is yet to be seen. I think what he did, he just clipped the inside curb, which kills your car. But looking back to Moraine and Karim, these two still battling. Karim's had a very good race so far, as he had a season. He's had an incredible season so far, has Karim. But it looks as if the defending champion and soon to be season 4 champion may be having a run on him. He gets a switchback line, little bit of contact there, no damage, thankfully, but Karim keeps the position. Good defending there from Karim, not too aggressive, you'd say.
Yeah, it's very good defending. Also, another thing to point out with Karim, I would say, in terms of position average, you would say that Karim's probably be one of the most consistent drivers this season.
Yeah.
Like, he's been consistently like P4, P5, P3 occasionally. He's been very consistent with his race finishes. So.
Yeah, Karim very consistent, and I think he will be at the end of season awards, which we will come on to very soon. Actually, just a couple of weeks. Yeah, I'm sure that Karim may crop up a couple of times for those awards. If you guys do have any suggestions for awards, please do pop them down in the comments. We will consider each and every one of them. We do have quite a couple of the basic ones down, but I think it'd be quite nice to get an idea of the audience. As I think Moraine is quicker than Karim, he just can't find a way through.
Yeah, I think that even though Moraine's got that front wing damage, he's still got a lot more pace than Karim, so... Yeah, I'm not sure. You would think he would get him on the straight, but I guess there's just not enough road to actually make the move. So, yeah, I think Moraine might just have to be a little bit patient and wait for Karim to maybe make a mistake. But obviously, with that, that means that Felix can just continue to increase the gap between him and Moraine, which obviously he needs to stay in the championship. But it won't be too much of a points gain. It might only be, well, it'll be about
4 points
gained
maybe.
On him
yeah,
here.
6 points. Yeah, 6 points. But that's more than nothing, and still keeps them within mathematical possibility.
Yeah.
And as we all know, anything's possible. So if you're just joining us in the live stream, welcome. And to fill you in, Moraine and Red Bull can both win their respective championships today. To win the Drivers' Championship, Moraine needs to score 12 points over Felix. It's not looking as if it's happening as of yet. It looks like Felix will be able to decrease the gap, as Moraine may be looking down the inside, doesn't have the confidence on the brakes to do so. But yeah, Moraine having to outscore Felix by 12 points to win the race, which means Moraine, if he finishes P1, it looks like, well, Felix will have to finish P6. And in terms of the constructors' standings, Red Bull have to score 13 points to win the constructors, and that's looking very likely at the moment, with Felix in P2 and Moraine up in P4. So we're about halfway through the race, nearing that point. Ryan, quick comment on the dominance of Red Bull this season.
Well, it's if you're looking at the standings, it's very self-explanatory. I mean, I think it might even be a GPL record on most points scored by a team in a single season. I think they could definitely. Oh, as Moraine and Karam have come together.
Yeah, I see
Moraine
that.
cut the back of Karam there, so I'm not sure what happened there. I don't know if Karam was just going a little bit too slow and Moraine maybe didn't anticipate what Karam was going to do, but
okay, will
it doesn't
Moraine
look like Karam has damage. I'm not sure, but
what actually happened, Ryan? Sorry.
Coming through, just coming into the two sort of hairpins at the end, it looked like Karam maybe went a little bit wide, and then Moraine was really close up behind him. And well, obviously, one annoying thing with the game is if you tap a car, there's a chance that you pretty much get glued to the car. So no matter what you do, the person in front will always spin out. So it might have just been a little bit of that, but
we'll have to review the footage after.
Yeah, we'll have to look at that. But now Moraine can catch up to Felix and hope that if he does get a penalty, that he doesn't lose too much from it.
Well, Moraine clearly thinking that he's not at fault, because if he did, he would have given the position back. But yeah, I think one thing to note, Felix doesn't have to make another stop, and Jarno and Moraine both do. So I think we have quite an interesting battle of strategy, because if Jarno pits right now, he's going to come out in P5. So I think we might see Jarno charge at the end, just like we did in Abu Dhabi. But yeah, just a quick comment on the constructors. Red Bull racking up 294 points in 11 runs so far this season, compared to the next best 148 of Mercedes. It is incredible, their dominance. We're talking Mercedes 2014 era. They are smashing it. And we anticipated it going into the season. We did. Because, you know, we had Moraine, who came into the league in Season 3 and smashed it. We had Felix, who came into the league midway through season, won a couple of races and was getting better. And we were like, okay, these guys can win. We rocked up in Silverstone, and Mercedes bagged a 1-2 in qualifying. We were like, okay. But, yeah, it's transpired over the season. Red Bull have that consistency. When Mercedes and Ferrari were making mistakes, Red Bull weren't, and they were always there. And I don't want to jinx them yet, but I think that's what won them, or is going to win them, the Constructors' title this year. And do correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that means we have 4 different Constructors winners in 4 years of GPRL. I will have to check that, actually. I'm not sure about the first season, but I know last season was Renault, actually. The season before was Mercedes and Sauber both tied. And I'm not sure about the first season. I'm sure all the GPRL OGs that are watching this are absolutely screaming at me down the mic. But yeah, apologies to that one. But yeah, it's quite incredible that we've had different constructors every year. You'd think there'd be some consistency filming, but no. But in terms of the gap between constructors, I think last year was the best. It was won on the last corner, actually, of the last race last year. Proper Brazil 2008 scenes with Karam. Not Karam. Where have I got Karam from? It was Steve and Moraine battling. And yeah, it was actually a penalty that decided it, and Renault won the championship by something like 2 points. But yeah, Moraine with a time penalties. Is Moraine closing to Felix?
It doesn't look like it.
I think he's just sort of holding.
I'll try and get a. It looks like Moraine's going a little bit slower than Felix at the moment. The gap is starting to extend a little bit. So
saying that, I think Felix has made a mistake. I think Felix made a mistake in the middle sector. That gap dropped by about a second. But yeah, I think the front wing damage is going to be a big pet peeve for Moraine, because you know, Hungary is quite downforce reliant, and having a broken end plate will not be beneficial. But it does look like Moraine is going quick. And one thing to notice, Moraine's still rocking the helmet used last time, the special Australian Grand Prix helmet. Felix not reverting back to his old one. I like that. I like the one-off things, and it's always nice to comment on them. But looking further back, Damien, who had a crash very early on, he's fought back and he's Karim is actually falling into his clutches. Both of these drivers, well, Damien 1 lap older tyres, 11 lap old tyres, Damien is on. Looks like last week's race winner, he's looking strong to take the place from Karim, but not quite as strong as last week, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be very difficult for Damien to live up to his performance last week, so, I mean, no matter where he finishes today, that's always going to be in the back of his mind, his performance at Austria.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't, not many drivers can top a performance like that, so, yeah, it was very enjoyable to watch.
It was.
So, I hope he can maybe do something like that again before the end of the season, or maybe even to the beginning of next season.
Possibly, yep. Possibly. As, Damien is closing on Karim. You'd think his soft tyres will be going off at this point, but not yet. Ryan, do you have an idea to the lifespan of tyres around here?
I don't. But I think the drivers would have a good idea of how long the tyres will last. So
I'm sure the drivers will know.
Moraine have a massive oversteer at turn 1.
I've been watching Moraine all race, and he has been struggling with that oversteer through turn 1. So yeah, clearly struggling on traction. But another person that seems to be struggling is Karim in the McLaren, as Damien is absolutely blitzing up to him. Not sure if Damien's going to make a move now. He'll have to go around the outside. Karim blocks off the inside. He gets very close round the fast left-hander, and he goes round the outside again. So Damien just having much more confidence than Karim at the moment. Karim keeps the position, but yeah, Damien round the outside again. This will be an incredible move if he can hold it. He can. He goes off track slightly, and he's going to give the position back. Fair play there to Damien. Good job to him to give that position back after overtaking Karim off the road. I'm not sure if he was forced to give it back due to an illegal overtake or not. But yeah, good job there from Damien to give the position back, and yeah, Karim's really struggling there. Yeah, he is. I think he's gonna. Damien looking to the inside on the brakes. I think he's got that moved on, unless Karim can make a switch back. Nah, Karim's struggling. Karim's really struggling, but Karim will be going to the end. You'd think on these tyres, so maybe he'll come back at the end.
I'm not sure if that would be too much of a stretch, though. I think that by the time you get to the end of the race, those mediums will be on like 60-70%, and that percentage on the hardest compound, it'll be like driving on ice towards the last few laps. So maybe the likes of Felix and Karim might do another stop at the end of the race to ultras, maybe. Yeah,
so someone who's gone relatively unnoticed for a while is actually Yannick in P6. He's on medium tyres, 7 lap salt, so he will be going to the end. And Yannick's blitzing up to the cars ahead of him. I've been watching the gap. I only noticed him just a moment ago. Yannick does currently hold the fastest lap of the Grand Prix at 1:19.5. But yeah, coming through sector 2, the gap was about 30 seconds to the car ahead, which is Karim. The gap between Yannick and Karim now is 27.5 seconds. So Yannick with a lot of speed, and he is coming back in this race. Yannick, go on.
I've just noticed that Damien's got past Karim.
Yes,
I was looking on Karim's point of view, and I'm like, wait, Damien's ahead. Oh, he was behind him just a second ago.
Yeah, I did cover that. Come on, Ryan.
Yeah, I was like sort of my own area, like in my own sort of bubble there for a second, and then I'm looking in Karim's point of view, and I'm like, no, he gave the position back. But I guess he must have just.
Yep, he went down the inside of the right-hander.
Okay.
And yeah, got back through. But yeah, Karim is holding on to Damien actually, and he might make another move on last week's race winner. He's going to go to the inside. Damien covers it off, but not fully. Down the inside goes Karim. He's gone way too deep there. And Damien with a lot of oversteer. So that might actually give Karim a second bite of the cherry. That's exactly what it does. And Karim's now going to have the inside line. Damien will do well to hold it around the outside. He's going to do exactly that, though. And he just about keeps his nose in there. This is a great battle between the two of them. And Damien comes out on top. Great battle there between the two of them. It might not be over, as Karim is now looking to the outside. Can he make this work around the outside? Not quite on those medium tyres. But that was a fun little battle, man.
It was, yeah. It was really good to see Damien manage to hold it around the outside on a softer compound, but very worn soft. So, yeah, very good for him to keep it around the outside.
Yeah, and yeah, we did cover Moraine a couple of laps ago about closing up. He isn't closing up, and he's actually fallen back about 12 seconds now. 11.5 seconds is the gap between Moraine and his teammate Felix. So it doesn't look as if it's going to be the championship today for Moraine, but yeah, anything can happen, so I wouldn't go anywhere just yet. Yano still leading the Grand Prix. He's dominated today. We're past the 75%. No, we're not. We're not past the 75% mark. We're past the 50% mark. We are coming up on the 75% mark as Karim is now battling with Damien. Karim looking to get back at Damien. Karim doing well not to fall back actually from Damien, considering the pace between the two of them. But yeah, can't make it work. I thought that there'd been an incident there because I saw Damien drop back a little bit, but that was probably just due to lag. But one thing that I have noticed, Damien isn't dropping back too quickly from Moraine. I mean, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure that gap has been staying at around 10 seconds. I mean, we'll see in a moment, but yeah, it looks as if Damien's pace is relatively strong. And should something happen at the front, I think he's on for a podium. But then again, Karim still doesn't have to pit again. Or you'd think he wouldn't have to pit again, considering the medium tyres. So yeah, that's quite interesting. Yannick still closing up. He's got about 26 seconds to Karim. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do come the end of the race. Where do you think the strategy goes from here then, Ryan?
Well, it'll be a no-brainer for the soft runners to come in for maybe another set of softs to take to the end of the race, but in terms of the mediums, if they stretch it out long enough, they could maybe stretch it on to a set of ultras and try and gain back the time that they'll lose. So there could be a variation in strategy towards the end, but I don't think the soft runners will be going on to ultras. I think they'll have to go on to either softs or mediums, depending on how bad the tyre wear is.
Yep. Karim still hustling Damien. Still can't make a move though. Damien a little bit wide through the left hander, showing that maybe his tyres are going off now. Talking about going off, Karim slightly off the track there on the left. But yeah, Karim is a bit unknown at the moment because it'll be interesting to see if he can stretch those tyres. You'd think that he would, but it will be quite an ask to do what will be Damien gets a couple of second time penalty. Jarno is in the pits, but it will be quite an ask to go to the end on what will be around about 29 lap old mediums, so that'll be interesting. So Jarno in the pits, you'd assume, as Ryan pointed out just a moment ago, he'll be onto the soft tyre. Felix goes through. You'd assume Felix will be going to the end of the race. It'll be interesting to see if he can stretch those tyres. Moraine, yeah, Jarno on the softs. Moraine also into the pits, gets it slowed down for the pit lane entry. He would also go onto the softs. It'd be stupid not to. Onto the soft tyres he goes, and back out.
His front wing as well.
Yes, fixing the front wing, so that promotes Karim to P3. Damien is also in the pits. So I think we're going to have quite a late charge from some of these guys. As into the pits comes Damien, set of soft tyres. So I think the biggest question at the moment is, where does Yannick come out in all of this? He's had a very strong last couple of laps as coming through the final corner now. Yes, he is quite a bit behind, more than expected. But interesting to see what he can make up. So yeah, surprisingly further back than I thought is Yannick, and it's a bit of a shame considering where he was. It would have been nice to see him fight back through. But you know, anything's possible. Moraine now behind Karim by about 14 seconds on his outlap now. He will be incredibly fast, as will Jarno. Just 10 seconds separate the top two as Felix comes into the pits. So Felix, not wanting to stretch those mediums out to the end of the race, this is going to hand the lead back to Jarno. And if Karim stays out, it might be quite close between the two of them. Into the pits comes Felix. New set of soft tyres. Out it comes. Good stop there by the Red Bull crew. And yeah, where does Karim come out in all this? Don't know how close it'll be. It won't be too close, actually.
No,
yeah,
it'll be quite a bit.
Felix on pit exit now. You can't quite see Karim on the back of your screen. So yeah, Felix cleanly up into P2. And I think that was actually quite a smart move there from Felix, coming out on the soft tyres. He wasn't going to be able to fight Yana on those mediums, so it's a level playing field now. One lap fresher tyres, and he's going to go and chase, or try and chase, after the Sauber, who's been dominant, fastest in qualifying Not quite fastest in the race, but either way, in the lead. He's been the consistent one. And yeah, he's leading the race by about 9 seconds between himself and Felix. Further back it's Karim with about a 5.5–6 second gap. It's going up with Felix on the fresher tyres. But the gap behind him is coming down quite rapidly. Moraine on those fresher, faster, soft compound tyres. And he's absolutely throwing his car around the Hungary. And I think Moraine may have a shout for the fastest lap of the Grand Prix here, if it comes as any consolidation. It's not the result Moraine would have wanted. I think, you know, coming into the weekend, yeah, he was confident in winning the title. Actually, I was talking to him before the race, as Karim comes into the pits. So that's going to eliminate any battle we may see between the two of them, unless Karim.
I was just
go
going to point out really quick that if Moraine does get the fastest lap, depending on what the finishing results are, the fastest lap could be the difference between the championship, because obviously the extra point that you get for the fastest lap, that could give Moraine the championship depending on what the finishing results are. So it could, the new rule that was implemented could actually be quite a factor in this race.
It could. Yeah, Moraine did get the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Karim comes out in P5 behind, about 4 seconds behind Damien, so he'll have to close up to him. So everyone bar Yannick, who is closing up actually. No, he's not. It was just a Karim. So I think Yannick is set in stone, P6 at the minute, which is a shame, considering his pace so far this race. But it's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. So yeah, Moraine is in the lead. So let me just do the maths real quick. So it is
Felix, fastest lap.
Fastest lap from Felix. He's closing up on Yana. Be interesting to see how these two battle it out, if they do come to battle it out. So 173 minus 121, which Felix is on. So yeah, currently a 52-point gap between the drivers. Moraine does have to outscore Felix by 12 points today to win the title. But if he doesn't, it will carry on to the next round. If the gap stays as it is between the two drivers and Felix finishes P2, Moraine finishes P3, Felix will close 2 points, 3 points on. He will close 3 points on Moraine, meaning there will be a 49-point gap with a certain amount. It will be. I can't do the math on the top of my head. Can you help me out here, Ryan?
You're talking about the championship points?
Yeah,
and stuff?
if things stay as they are.
Well, Felix will get 18, Moraine will get 15. So yeah, that means that Moraine will have to outscore Felix by. It would be 9 points at the next race.
Yes.
If
okay.
it stays as it is. But well, we're coming up the halfway point. I would say lap 27, 28. So, but the problem is now for Felix. If Felix retires from this race, even if it's past the points mark and Moraine stays P2, that should be enough for the championship. Even though Felix has that extra point. So, yeah. Felix got to be very careful now, because if he gets close enough to Jarno to battle and it doesn't pay off and he ends up retiring, then the championship will go to Moraine.
So yeah, Ryan, you were right. It's 26.25 laps, so we're going to round that up to 27 laps to score points, and Jarno is just about to finish his 26th lap. So once he completes his 27th lap, he will be eligible 4 points. But yeah, Felix is closing the gap with just under 10 laps to go. There's a 7-second difference, which is constantly coming down. Felix looking like he's got the bit between his teeth at the minute, and is really getting on with it. I'm not sure if it's going to be another fast lap of the Grand Prix. Not quite. But yeah, 6.5 seconds. Do you think it's possible for Felix here?
It'll be very close at the end of the race. But I think that it can definitely happen, but I don't think Moraine's going to be getting involved in the battle as he's
20
20
seconds off, yeah.
behind Felix, so I don't think much is going to be happening. The only way he could catch up is if they have a massive crash. That being Jarno and Felix, of course.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Karim hasn't been able to make an impact on Damien. Damien with good pace on his fresher softs. So it looks like the P4, 5 and 6 will be staying as they are for now. But yeah, Felix constantly chipping away at the gap between Jarno and Felix. And as heartbreaking as it will be if we see Felix go past Jarno, I think Jarno, he deserves a win. Can you remember the last Jarno win?
It must have been before I joined, because
I don't think he's had a win. I don't know when it was. I'm going to be completely honest, I have no idea when it was. So it would be great to see him win. But that's not how Red Bull are thinking, you know, they're thinking, right, come on, let's prove a point. They will win the Constructors' Championship if things stay as they are. And that is really proving a point if they do it with a win. A double podium, I'm sure they won't complain with. But 5.5 seconds now, another, nearly second shaved off that lap.
I think...
Go on.
Because we've passed the points mark, even if they retire, they'll finish 5 and 6. That should still be enough points to take the constructor. So even if they retire at this point, they'll still take it, but that's obviously not
that's not their mindset.
How the sport's played. So
yeah. Yeah, so congratulations on Red Bull for the Constructors' Championship.
Yeah, now it's confirmed because they'll have enough points if they finish 5 and 6. So
yeah,
Red Bull are Constructors. Yeah.
We can make it a bit more dramatic at the end of the race, so we'll leave it there. But one thing I have noticed actually, Ryan, real quick, could you just check the penalties for Moraine and Damien? Because I'm not sure, but Damien is within 6 seconds, and I think Moraine has just picked up another 3-second time penalty. So Moraine,
Moraine has, let me just, 3... Damien's got 3 seconds, Moraine's got 3.
So they've both got 3.
Damien's got 6, and Moraine's got 6, so it would just stay as it is. The gap there is right now.
Yeah, I just thought that maybe we could have a little tussle at the end as a war on penalties, but no, and Felix looks like he's slowed down a little bit, not intentionally, but looks like Jarno's picked up the pace. Maybe a little tyre conservation from Jarno with all the tyres in the earlier stage of the stint to then go faster at the end. Tyre overheating is something we see very commonly around the Hungary ring, especially on the rear tyres. Front tyres is just as common. So yeah, Felix still closing, but not quite at the rate of knots he was earlier. As we enter the final 5th of this Grand Prix. I think we may be past it. But anyway, who is your driver of the day? Let us know in the comments section. I know my driver if things stay as they are. Ryan, what about you?
I'd have to go with Jarno.
I would completely agree with you. I'll go.
I mean, good qualifying, good pace in the race. Yeah, it's well, I'm not going to say a Charles Leclerc performance because we know what happened there, but it's definitely looking like a very dominant race for Jarno today.
Yeah, Jarno doing very well at the minute. 5-second gap. If Felix closes out this race, a couple more.
Yellow flags.
Yannick, yeah, again. Actually, no, yeah, front wing damage. So I think Yannick is going to come into the pits in this lap and have a bit of a glory run at the end. If he can get a fast lap, it will be an extra point to his tally. Yannick does currently hold the fast lap actually, so no, he doesn't. Let me just check that. Fastest lap, yeah. You say Felix, yeah, as he runs a little bit wide, chasing after Jarno. The gap's actually gone up a little bit, so you know, dare I say that this is how it will finish. Meanwhile, Damien's closing actually on Moraine, so maybe, just maybe, Damien might have a pop at Moraine come the end of the race. Both drivers on 8-lap-old softs. I think it might be quite far-fetched.
I'm just looking right now. Damien's got like about
none,
10% ERS, but Moraine's got a full bar of ERS, so maybe he's just saving a little bit so that if he has to defend from Damien, he can, which he should do successfully, going by the difference in ERS, but
I think Moraine is saving up for a hot lap at the end. Meanwhile, Yannick comes out the pits just behind Felix, and he's hopefully isn't going to cause any trouble. And yeah, he'll be on a push lap now, you'd think, for fast lap come the end of the Grand Prix. So yeah, looks like Jarno's got it set in stone. Don't want to say anything yet. He's led every lap of the race. Well, no, he hasn't. All but one laps he's led when it came down to strategy. But you know, he got it on pole. His first pole, I want to say, since France season 3. Don't quote me on that. I'm sure Jarno will come into the WhatsApp group chat later and correct me on that. But apologies, Jarno, if I'm wrong for that. But yeah, his first pole in a while. It was a Sauber front row for the first time since season 2, and you know, we were thinking, right, can they do it? Looks like one of their drivers has very much converted it. Unfortunately, Yannick not able. It wasn't going to go his way today, which is a shame. But no, that's the way the cookie crumbles, as I said earlier. It happens in motorsport. Looks like Yannick always pulling the short straw when it comes to Gprl, but his day will come. You'd hope, and. Yeah, as we start the 32nd lap of the 35 today. I think the 2-stop was definitely the right strategy to go onto the softs after the intermediate period. I'm not really sure what else you could have done in that situation, Ryan.
yeah, I'm not really sure either. I'm looking at Yannick seems to be catching up to Felix, so I'm not sure what's going to happen there between them two. Will Felix let Yannick go past, or do you think Yannick will just slow down a little bit? And because he's got quite a gap to Moraine behind, so I think Yannick might slow down a little bit just to get his lap right in the end to save anyone else going any quicker than him. But I don't think it's going to happen because Yannick is on ultras and they're fresh, so it doesn't look like there's going to be much competition for fastest lap other than, well, just Yannick. So
Moraine with another 3-second time penalty.
And the gap is, yeah, like you said, the gap is definitely coming down quite a lot.
It's gone up a bit now.
5 seconds up.
Yeah, so just as you brought that up, it has gone up a bit. I think Damien went quite wide there. But yeah, if Moraine picks up another penalty, he will be dropping off the podium, and it will be a second podium in a row for Damien. It'll be not a win, but I think he'll still be quite proud. Because, you know, yeah, he's not, with all due respect to Damien, he's not a title contender. But what made his win in Austria so incredible was it was so from out of nowhere. You know, no one would have put their money on it, would they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and also the podium in general was quite all over the place.
I think Esteban did get a podium.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Before being taken off of it due to contact with Felix. Talking about Felix, up in P2. And I think Karim actually got P3, so yeah, another consistent performance from Karim, who is in the pits.
He's in the pits, actually.
Yeah. He's been saving up his ERS. I think he's going to go on a 1-lap glory run at the end of the race. Yannick picks up a 3-second time penalty, pushing quite hard. Be interesting to see if Yannick catches up to Felix, as you mentioned earlier. What will Felix do? Will he let him go by? You'd think at this point he wouldn't put up too much of a fight to Yannick storming.
But at the same time, Felix is trying to catch up to the leader, so I mean, Yannick can't really get tangled. Oh, I think Yannick is slowing down a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, he did look as if he dropped off a bit through the final corner.
But Felix is catching up quite a lot to Jarno now.
A couple of tenths down, yeah. It's not enough though. He's going to have to gain 2 seconds in 2 laps. 4 seconds, sorry, in 2 laps. So 2 seconds a lap, and I think that's a bit far-fetched even for a driver of Felix's caliber. But yeah, I think nevertheless, P2, incredible result. As Damien comes into the pits now, looking on some quite old softs. So in he goes, which is going to rule out a battle for P3. I'm not sure if Damien was aware of that, but that's going to give Moraine a bit of breathing space, and Felix still P2 is not really gained on Jana, so as Jana comes through the final sector to start his final lap of the Grand Prix, Yeah, I put my money on Yana at this point in time. And it's been incredible. Slurber's first win for too long after their success in season 1 and 2, and yeah, it looks like I'm sure the boys in the factory, I'm sure Yana will be quite sweaty at the minute. You know, you don't want to bin it on the final lap. I've been in this position leading on the final lap in a league race, not GPRL, but another league with my wonderful engineer, Mr. Ryan. I really enjoyed that race. I was watching that video about the other day, watching you be my engineer. It's quite fun. But yeah, the last thing Yana needs to do at the minute is bin it in the wall, and I really shouldn't say that because he's going to do it now and everyone's going to call me the devil. So Yana, if you're listening, please don't bin it as he comes through into this tricky section. I think Yannick will be, I think there's positives to take away from Yannick. A bit of a return to form for Yannick today, because it has been a while since we've seen him with this pace. But I think his teammate will definitely take positives away from today's. Karam sets the fast lap of the Grand Prix on those fresh Ultra Softs, but talking about Jarno in the start, but it's been an incredible race for Jarno. He's led every lap but one when he pitted. He's going to come out the final corner, and for the first time in a very long time, Jarno takes the win. Felix comes home in P2 to round off a very successful race for himself. And yeah, Moraine coming through the final sector. He's weaving. He knows what's happened, and it's actually the season 3 champion comes through the final corner. It's going to be the Constructors' Championship for Red Bull Racing, their first Constructors' Championship. Couple of donuts there for Moraine. Out the final corner. Yeah, he will, but Damien nowhere to be seen. Moraine through the final corner, through the checkered flag, and it is the Constructors' Championship for Moraine and for Red Bull Racing, their first in GPRL history. That means we've crowned 4 different Constructors' Champions in as many years in GPRL seasons. Sorry, same thing. But yeah, incredible season from the Red Bull guys. Thoroughly deserved that Constructors' Championship. And but yeah, I think the focus from today will be on Yana because he bossed it, to say the least.
Yeah, agreed.
Ryan, anything to
add? Not much. Well, apart from an old Dutch podium.
Yeah, old Dutch podium.
Which I've just realised.
Yeah, there is that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say it was another Damien performance because I mean Jarno kind of was set to win from the start, whereas Damien it was a lot more out of the blue. But yeah, definitely deserved that one today, and he definitely won't stop talking about that one for a while.
No, I don't think we'll hear the end of this, but yeah, Jarno P1. I'm sure that champagne will taste sweeter than ever. Just a quick race rundown now, Ryan.
As well.
I think that's a
it's just
flashback.
Raining in the background.
Yeah, possibly,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, quick race rundown, Ryan.
Well, it was set in stone for Jarno to win from the beginning. It looked like both the Red Bulls, they had a really good start, and they gained a few positions in the race, so that's always good. Damien, who struggled a little bit in qualifying, managed to make up a few positions. Karen with a good qualifying, and kind of struggled on the mediums just after the rain period. And obviously Yannick just at the back, who struggled a lot that race. But one thing I want to say is, I think we found a new strategy to win the race.
What's
Change
that?
your name and put GPRL in front of it, because
Exactly.
the 2 front drivers had GPRL in their name. They just changed it probably today, which I still don't have access to, which is annoying.
Do you not? I'm expecting a GPL Ryan Clone Wars to pop up next time.
It might not be Ryan Clone Wars, but I think it'll have GPRL on the front.
GPL the commentator.
I'm just scared about losing. That's all. I might just upload it all to the cloud, and if I do lose anything, I just download it again. So yeah, I don't have access to it.
Anyway, yeah, very good race today, and yeah, for the Hungary standards, very interesting race actually. The drivers managed to make what in theory shouldn't be an incredible race a very fun race to commentate. Yes, so I'm gonna say hasta la vista, and I don't know what that means. Next week, where are we? So if you join us next week at 5:05 p.m. GMT, we are in China. So that could be quite a fun race. China, lots of overtaking opportunities, bit of a contrast to Hungary in terms of overtaking opportunities, but still some slow technical sections. So I think we will see another fun race. You'd hope so.
And we've also got China this weekend, so hopefully
We do.
it should be very exciting. Obviously, we've got the same Grand Prix. Well, I wouldn't say in the same week, but we've got the race this weekend, then we've got our race on the Friday, so it should be a good week for us.
Be interesting to see which one is better. We will find that one out, and if our race is better than the F1 race, then we are better than F1. Anyway, thank you guys for yeah. We just are better. Sorry F1, if any of you are watching this, I love you.
Commentators,
please don't hurt me.
We do better.
We should do that. David Croft, mate, when you retire, you know, you can send me a message on Instagram. We'll be right there.
We've got experience.
Yeah, no, I love Crofty. I love Crofty. But yeah, join us next week in China. Thank you, Ryan, for being here.
No problem.
And yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. Hopefully for another just as exciting race.